tell me about your mallet.
My mallet. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, it's cream mallet. I feel like I have better puck control with that, and two things I've kind of altered on it. So, one, first and foremost, the string. For me, I have multiple sclerosis. So one of my symptoms that I have is that my hand is slightly numb.
Okay, yeah.
So I have a little diminished feeling in my hand.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was losing my mallet a little more and more. So one, for player safety, two, for actual
to keep it.
player strategy, right? But, so that's the modification number one, and then along the same lines, I added just a layer of tape on the inside just for a little extra grip.
And I've seen a lot of people with this now. It's real popular.
Yeah, it's it's like Band-Aid tape almost. Yeah.
Neat. Okay. Cool beans. Okay, so tell us your name and where you're from.
Oh, sure. My name is Brian Quezada. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Born and raised in New Jersey before that.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I am an analytical chemist for essentially the company is Ecolab, so we're a sales and service company.
Familiar with Ecolab?
Okay.
They're big.
Okay. Yeah. So I work in the microscopy lab there. So we're essentially like the analytical lab for the sales force. If they have questions,
And so, as an analytical chemist, what are you spending most of your days doing?
So usually it's essentially the sales force will have questions for the customers. It might be, what is this material that's fouling or caking up here? It might be and that's going to help them offer treatment programs or solutions for their customers.
Okay. And you have to figure out the answer.
Yes. So we had, like my lab, the lab I work in, I work with a lot of several colleagues, but we always say the question is important, right? So if they just kind of give us something, we all what do you want to know? Yeah, exactly. So if they want to know what's clogging this filter, we'll answer that question for them, and guide them towards experts that will be able to help them take that piece and find the solution.
Okay, cool, neat. So tell me, how did you discover air hockey?
Oh my gosh. On the competitive side of air hockey, it goes back to when I was in undergrad at Rutgers, and was working with some friends, classmates, and we went to the student center, and for lunch every day during the summer, and there was a table in the arcade there.
Yeah.
Playing a friend of mine, just random game, and I don't know if he topped it or if he just goaltended. I think he topped it, and I'm like, man, you can't do that, and I didn't know, right? It was probably 6-6 or something. I was just like, man, you can't do it. He's like, there's no rules to this game. And I'm like, bet you there are.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, that was, I graduated undergrad in like 03, so it must have been 02, 03.
Okay.
And then sure enough, we found, I don't know what site, maybe one of the websites with the rules.
Sure.
And we discovered this is
there's so
intense, and we saw the rules about challenge matches, and that it blew our minds. We're like, wait, you play this marathon, of best of seven. So we started doing a little challenge match on ourselves. We didn't do it in one session. Over the summer, we essentially recorded a challenge match.
So where is this player now?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know where one. So there was, and then
so
that's how I kind of just saw that it was a thing. And then one day, every lunch, like I said, we were there playing, and it turns out, when we went in, we heard people playing, and another classmate of ours, by random circumstance, happened to be there, and he was beating up on all of his friends, and he was doing a diamond drift.
Wow.
Now I know what it is.
Sure.
And that blew our minds. So we talked to him, and he knew about this competitive world. His name was Dan. It's a bit funny, but he knew a player by the name of Scott Diamond, I believe.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, so a Philly area player.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
So and then kind of got exposed to the whole thing. And I remember 03 when I moved out to Illinois for just graduate school.
Right.
Remember looking up, and that was the year the state or the Worlds were in Chicago, Naperville, right?
Yeah, I remember
that. The one way the puck was thrown.
Yes.
And I was that close because it was to going, and I just never
didn't go.
Yeah, didn't go, and then but that's how I discovered.
That's how you discovered it. So at some point, though, you did go.
Yeah. So that was when my friend and I in undergrad we found out about this, right? So we went online. We saw that people bought their own mallets and pucks and things, so we bought our own mallets.
Sure.
And then I'm a pack rat, so I had them stashed away in a box.
Nice.
And then in 2009, my wife and I were just kind of cleaning out the apartment, and I found like a shoebox, and like as I picked it up, I heard the pucks and mallets all
wow.
around. And then, by luck, the Illinois State that year in 2009 was like 2 months after that. So I was
wow.
like, I'm gonna go.
Now give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Did not go well.
Well, that's so was air hockey your first sort of passion pursuit, or one of many, or what?
So I'd say, yeah, it was probably my first. I mean, in graduate school, I was there. I played a lot of intramural sports.
Sure.
So just,
Yeah.
I mean, I was really into that. So
Yeah.
but I mean, that's like pick up, flag football
Yeah.
and floor hockey, like things I hadn't tried. But I'd say, like, yes, air hockey is really the
Sure.
video games maybe as well. Like before that, like
But in a passionate way?
yeah,
Okay.
I took playing Halo multiplayer really passionately.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
Not professional level at all,
Right.
but like I essentially played like every day, a long time, like trying
Right,
to like
trying to
really work
figure
on
out-
things,
yeah.
look up strategy. All
Jacob
that.
was like that.
Yeah.
Jacob was with that same time, that same game. Okay, so this can be sort of a deep question. What does air hockey mean to you?
For me, honestly, it's a little bit about friendship. Like really, for me, a lot of my best friends I found in air hockey.
Right. Yeah.
Billy Stubbs, Dan
Right.
Meyer,
Sure.
the other Chicago
Sure.
players.
Yeah.
But like from there, like I love them like
Sure,
I love
like
my
family.
my siblings.
family. Yeah. Well, and then you say that, and I see the emotion
Yeah.
come over.
Yeah, and a little bit of that emotion.
Sure, I
is,
understand.
Yeah, it's recent events in my family.
Sure,
But my father was really big about family. Like that
Yeah.
was his cornerstone.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing is I love those guys and Allison and everyone else. Like
Sure.
they're my siblings. So yes, I would do anything for them. Kind of thing.
So and that's a common answer. That air hockey is about community and family and the connections. I wonder about the piece of the puzzle, which is the competitive aspect, right? So because when we get into these passion pursuits, and you mentioned Halo, right? There was a competitive edge to that. So
For sure.
talk
For
about
sure.
that with air hockey.
I'd say just overall, I'm a competitive person. I like to win.
Yeah.
And again, to the credit of the Illinois guys, right?
Right.
And at the time, there was a lot more a handful of common players back then.
Sure.
But like Billy, Dan, Gorin, Billy especially, right, really showed me this game, and I saw that I was getting better. Right?
Sure.
I saw I was getting a lot better under their
Sure.
help, and that made me want to see how good I could be.
Yeah, how good I can get at it. Yeah. Okay. Which sort of brings me to another question, which is, has air hockey changed you as a person?
I want to say yes. I'm trying to think of how to quantify that. I think it taught me a lot about myself, for sure. Just kind of finding, like that right mental state, like not getting too frustrated
Sure.
with myself, how to move on from that. It's taught me a lot about community, family outside
Outside
of
of
blood
family.
relatives.
Sure.
Right? So,
But the change, where's the change? Is it that you, before air hockey, you struggled more with dealing with frustration?
Yeah,
And then now you're better at it, or?
yeah, I'd say. I mean, I'm still
we're all
something
struggling.
I need to work on. But
Yeah.
I'd say for sure, right? It was, competitive. Wouldn't like to lose. Would almost get discouraged about keeping at something. But
Gotcha.
facing adversity or struggles in air hockey kind of taught me I've gotten better about just brushing off I didn't have a good tournament.
Sure.
There's going to be another one. I'm going to
Right.
What
You
did
have
I
a
and
chance.
then reevaluate
Right.
or reflect, right?
Right.
What did I do? What can I do better?
Yeah.
And at the same time also where am I going with that? Yeah.
that's a change.
Yeah, and just kind of, just learning like that reflection of like, okay, it didn't go my way this time, okay, now I know what I was going to say, was a different understanding of like not thinking about it of like, oh, I could have done all of this different and like really get down on myself about that, or
Right.
like I didn't do enough to get ready for this. Instead, flipping it to like a more glass half full of like,
Right.
what did I do today that helped me get better?
Okay,
Instead of like
okay.
what I didn't do to
Right. To look at what worked,
Yeah.
and then say, okay, I need to do more of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think that's an important thing. A lot of times, when I talk to, my kids who I try to coach, one of the things that I frequently say to them is like, you can watch a match that you lost one time, okay? You can watch it one time, find out what happened, and then that's it. You can watch matches where you won and played great as many times as you want, and encourage you to continue watching that. Okay, I want you to imagine that we have the world's attention. Okay, the whole world is watching us.
Oh my God.
We're on TV or we're somewhere. We're on social media, and we can impart one thing to the world. What does the world need to know about air hockey?
Passion, right? I think it's just the passion that players have, the people that love the sport, try to grow the sport, not just on the player side, but yes, awareness, everything else. I think it's that level of love and dedication to this
Okay.
sport.
So the world needs to know that air hockey is worthy of what these people are giving to
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And by them understanding that, they would look at air hockey differently.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And honestly, that has helped me see other things, right? Like a lot of times when someone first comes like to our weeklies in Chicago and like kind of sees us playing this competitively, and they're like, wow, I didn't know anyone took it this
Right.
seriously.
Right.
I always kind of go like, I found or seen that with other things that I didn't think that either, right? I've seen
Sure.
like competitive foosball players, I've seen like competitive pinball
Yeah,
players,
yeah.
like things that like I'm like, okay, I guess it makes sense that anything where there could be some kind of
Right.
metric and like maybe not even just competition head to head, but something
Right.
that there's probably people that take it that passionately, and like and it's that like some people may dismiss that, like they're like, oh, it's just a
Right, it's
kid's
an arcade game, yeah.
and that's where I've grown a little bit of like not having that judgment on other people's
Sure.
passions,
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because you see how something that you have so much passion and love for, and it gets, I guess, minimized in the minds of other people, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to pay the same respect to
Right,
their
yeah,
passions as
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
hope they pay to mine.
Sure. Okay. I like it. Okay, a couple fun questions
Yeah.
to wrap up. What's your best shot?
Oof. I'm gonna say my right wall over.
Your right wall over. Okay.
I really think my over is one of my best shots. I
Awesome.
have several like shot locations that I can
Uh-huh.
have. It's one of my favorite shots in the game, to
Okay.
be honest.
Well,
and
yeah.
it's just so
it's
I
a great
really
shot.
yeah. So I'm gonna say my over. I was torn between my under and my over,
But you think that your over is a better shot that you okay.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
it is.
All right. And how are you? You said there's different locations. How
Yeah.
are you doing it?
So I have a few different releases, and points and ways.
Sure.
So I almost call it like a punch over. So I'll keep it a little right of center or
Okay,
just
okay.
center-ish, and instead of swinging into it, I almost like punch
Pop-
into
yeah.
it, almost like a cross straight, but like
Oh.
nick off the left
Interesting.
side of the puck to have it go
Okay,
as an
interesting.
over.
It's almost a slice in a sense.
Yeah, and that's one. And then from watching, so many great players play, like
Sure.
the far or like left third of center near the line, where like as a righty, if I'm not shifting my body, I'm like coming way across like this, and like having the like full extension
Right,
to get to
right.
it and hit it from the left to center.
Wow.
That's like one of my favorite
Yeah, yeah.
shots to hit. It's taxing on my arm, but it's
Right.
a lot of fun to hit.
Okay, so now imagine that the universe is going to gift you a single shot at championship caliber level. What shot would you like to get to your?
Shot would I like to get at championship caliber level? I want to say my left wall under. I feel like, actually, I told some people my left wall over I feel is okay and pretty
Right.
good, and I feel like I learned to hit that, especially years ago, because I was mishitting my under. Like a lot of times,
okay.
I would go try to hit like a really strong under, and I'd
You'd go over.
I'd either be inaccurate, it'd be like a full speed over, or I'd slice a little too thin or barely miss it and
Sure.
then come off speed. And that's how I taught myself how to hit the over, is because
Right.
I was just telling myself to hit a left wall.
Hit a
miss
left
it.
wall and
and then
it'll
I was
go.
like, all right, now I see what I did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So all right. So you want to add the left wall under to the
Yeah.
repertoire.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think my cross is, I would really like my cross as well as a complimentary. So
Right. Well, yeah, that goes real well.
Yeah, so that's why I want the under.
So, what's the? I mean, I know that you said that air hockey is sort of community, family, friendship. What's the goal though on the competitive side?
Competitive side, I've said I want another doubles title. With
Okay.
Dan,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
That's kind of always been there. We have two. I feel like
Yeah.
we could have had three.
Okay.
And then in terms of singles, I mean, I'd love to win the
Okay.
tournament for
Yeah, yeah.
sure. But I feel like I've kind of, and maybe it's actually helped my game, is like I almost hit my bucket list of like where I wanted to be.
Okay.
After 2013, where I had to play a little lefty and and finally was
Right,
able to come
right,
back righty,
yeah.
my goal then was to finish top 10 again
Okay.
at all. And then I
Right,
started
yeah.
finishing top 10 again.
Perennial
So,
top 10 player. Right.
Yeah, and I got 2015 was actually my best year of competitive air hockey. I finished, at the two big tournaments,
Oh,
I finished
right.
like 4th and 5th.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
All right. So you feel? It sounds like you feel like you're satisfied with that. You'd like to do better.
Yes,
But
yeah.
but there's not. It's not like that's driving you.
Yeah. And I'd say, that's accurate. And like, it's the like, it's good for me, right? To going back to the like not getting hard on myself if I have
Sure,
a bad
sure.
tournament, learning how to do that, or to your
Right,
point
yeah.
about telling
Yeah.
your kids to watch that
Right.
that Mad Match once,
Once.
was like, yes, I still want to put myself in that situation where like, yes, I have these hopes of like finishing top 10, but like, yeah, if I don't this tournament, I'll go home, work on some stuff, get ready for the next
Right,
one.
the next one. Yeah, and I like that attitude a lot. Because it does echo stuff I've talked to Jacob and Noah, who's now into it. Is like, look, there's another tournament coming.
Yeah, exactly. And that's,
you got to think that way. This is not. I think if you go into each moment as this is the only moment, you're just going to psych yourself out.
Yeah, and like that being said, how I mentioned like kind of hit my like wish list, like,
Sure.
and I try not to think like that too much because I don't want to stop playing. Like,
Right.
it's crossed my mind a couple times, like at what point do I
Just
stop?
Yeah.
But like, if I think as long as my body and like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the Chicago crew,
Right.
yeah,
No, I
that
understand.
would've changed
Right.
it.
Right. I gotcha. Okay. Last question: who is or was the best of all time?
Billy Stubbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, I truly feel that in that 2012 to 2014,
Right. Team. Yeah.
and I was extremely lucky to be able to play with him,
while he was doing that.
6 days or 5
Yeah.
or 6 days a week
Yeah.
while he was
Doing
getting to
that.
that level.
Yeah.
And like that, and basically I saw it firsthand, right?
Right.
So like,
right.
on a
So
daily-
that's why.
yeah.
And I will say, what he did at that time period was extremely impressive, exciting. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
It really did. And he reinvented himself in essence.
Yeah, and in that sense, yes. But like, to credit, absolutely. I told several players like it's an honor to like play against them. Like you,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Danny.
Yeah.
Like, I played like one game I think against Jesse Dowdy once. Like
Yeah.
just a pickup, but like those things, it's just like I'm in awe because of how your longevity of being able to be at that level too, and like when you
Yeah.
like
No,
in
I
your-
hear you.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Billy hit. You know, it's an interesting question. I asked this question of everybody, and it's a
Yeah.
great question because it brings up different perspectives, right? And one perspective is, well, are you talking about a person that played the best air hockey that has ever been played at the moment,
Yeah.
right? Or are you talking about somebody that did it over a long period of time?
Yeah.
And I think if it's the previous perspective, then I think Billy is in that discussion
Yeah.
because he raised the game to another level
Yeah.
again, and that keeps happening.
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate you taking time to
Oh,
sit down with me.
absolutely. Thank
I hope you have a great tournament, and appreciate all that you do for air hockey up in Chicago and online and stuff. Hopefully, that your path with air hockey will continue for the
Great.
rest of your life.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Tim.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.